RC Underground Radio is your go-to podcast for everything RC.
Everything about Carbies is awesome.
Especially the owner. He's so hot.
Each episode features top-notch guests, industry leaders, and you, the racer.
Do you guys realize how much it costs to be friends with this dude?
So, grab your transmitter, buckle up, and join us on RC Underground Radio.
Say words.
Here are your hosts, Dave Brinkman and TJ Greer.
All right, everybody, welcome to another week of RC Underground Radio. Super excited for this one. It's a little different angle. We're going to be talking RC, but we're going to be talking some full-size racing. So please welcome the one, the only, the RC Underground racing driver. It is Cadyn Liedke. Cadyn, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here, Dave.
Yeah, this is kind of cool. I mean, we've all been involved for a long time. When Kyle used to be racing, you guys would come out, and we obviously met you guys when you were younger, much younger, and brought the truck out to the house and that whole story. Maybe we can talk a little bit more about that later, but yeah. And then what, about 5 years ago, you and your brother Mason started racing and started helping you with safety gear and just making sure you were safe, and had some good stuff. Because that gets expensive when you're trying to, you're trying to field a car and you're new to it and you're buying stuff. And then you got to go out and go, oh, yeah, we got to get safety equipment. And we just wanted to make sure you guys were in the best stuff possible. So what is it now? 3 years ago, you guys started getting into the Wisconsin Sport Truck Series. So why don't you tell everybody what is a Wisconsin sport truck?
So yeah, basically the Wisconsin sports trucks, the size can be deceiving on, how fast, how powerful they really are. They're designed like the NASCAR Craftsman Series trucks you see back in like the early 90s, I would say. They're powered by Yamaha Phaser snowmobile engines. Some guys will run stock, some will have fully built engines. So that's the thing about them. I know there's other divisions like Legends, Super Cups, the Midwest trucks. All their engines are sealed. Unlike us, if we blow an engine up, we're able to tear it apart the next week and rebuild it.
Last year you saw a little bit of that, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. So what's cooking for this year? I know Dad's not just going to sit still because your dad just burns the midnight oil, Chad Liedke, on these trucks, just trying to make them the best they can for you guys. So what's been happening in the off season?
The first half of the off season was really focusing on building enough engines, making sure we had an engine for the Thursday nights at WIR, and that we also had a motor for the touring series as well, and then also backups to go along with that. So we've been really focusing a lot on speed this year. I know we were fast last year when everything was running right, but we want to be able to find even more speed this year. And I really think that my dad's he's worked really hard on them over the off season. I think we have a shot at being really fast this year. And then obviously a couple of weeks ago, we finally got the body put together and whatnot, which some of you guys saw the truck at the end of the last year. It wasn't pretty. So we needed pretty much everything new on the body except for the roof. So then obviously we got it painted up and we sent it over to dirt racer JJ Pagel. He was the one who wrapped the truck all on his own and made it look as beautiful as it does.
Yeah, so let's talk about that wrap a little bit. Like you said, we've been with you from the beginning and kind of doing some things behind the scenes. Then we got a little more space on the truck, and now we got a lot of space on the truck.
Oh, yeah.
So RC Underground Radio is kind of the primary on the car this year, which is cool because we're really trying to market what we're going to be doing here in the future, which we haven't come out with the official word. I was hoping that TJ was going to be able to be on tonight, but it's his birthday, so we don't expect him to be on. So we're going to wait another week before we talk about some big plans we got going here at RC Underground Radio. But it's going to tie into the truck that we're sponsoring. We're super excited about where we're taking RC Underground Radio. And so since we're stepping up, we thought it's time to step up our marketing program. There's a lot of people out there. There's such a correlation between full-size racing and RC racing. A lot of full-size racers do RC in their off time. Now, that includes Justin Haley, that includes William Byron, that includes a lot of NASCAR stars, Joey Logano Jr., and that includes Cadyn Liedke as well. So tell us a little bit about your RC racing that you started this year.
Yeah, so there's someone that I found out that who did RC racing every once in a while, and ended up buying a car from him. And one day we got the idea on a Friday night to go over to Hobbytown in Oshkosh and run there. And their dirt track that they have there is incredibly fun. It's really cool to do for the first time. And like you were saying, how other guys, do that as a hobby during the off season. It was mainly, WIR guys or guys that run locally, at Slinger and whatnot. So it's kind of cool being in an environment with people that I already knew, and now I even met some other people through it. So it was definitely fun. Obviously, I wasn't the greatest at it, but a couple times I got better at it.
Yeah, you'll continue to get better over the winter. I want to come out there and run some with you as well, and then hopefully get you down here at the RC Underground.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Throw you in a 1RC car and see what you could do down here. I think you'd had a lot of fun. And we've been talking, which way you wanted to go. You were talking a little bit about going 1RC, maybe an asphalt car, or you've been talking about a NASCAR low C car. Have you made any moves on that yet, or is it just 110% focus on the Wisconsin sport truck right now?
Right now, yeah, I'm focused on the sport truck. Once it gets towards that September, October range, once race season's over, I definitely want to get more into that. My brother and I, we want to learn how to be able to, if we wreck a car, how to fix it. Because that's the main thing right now is if I break something, I got to, rely on other people helping me out because I'm not 100% sure, but I definitely want to learn so I can go there and run by myself if I want to.
Yeah, that's another great way to start is through the 1RC program because they're simple to work on. They take a beating, so you can kind of get your racecraft in order, and you're really not going to bust up a lot of stuff. And if you come down here at the Underground, we got everything. So, and you got a lot of good mentors that we've helped a lot of young racers and people just new to the hobby get started, get going. What you really need versus everything. Some people, stack their boxes with it. Not really necessary. Yeah, well, everybody down here will put you on the right path towards being successful in it and just really enjoying the hobby. And then even with the big cars, like I've been learning the big cars this year, and I believe you've got a Traxxas, right? A Traxxas Slash. Yeah, so that's the same thing I have. I have a short course Traxxas. Boy, see, I haven't been running these big cars. I can't even see them. It's an SC. It's an SC mod. Let's just go with that.
Okay.
And yeah, now this summer I'm going to run it as a SC late model, all kinds of stuff. I'll have to have you come out with us, you and Mason come out with me to Attitude Raceway.
Okay.
There's always folks that got cars that'll let you wheel them around a little bit, and you can obviously wheel my car and stuff. And yeah, we'll work on getting some dates together, maybe where you guys can come see that in the summer. It's a fun dirt track, banked dirt track, right in Waupun. So it's right in your backyard.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right in your backyard. So yeah, we'll definitely do that for sure. And who knows? Maybe we'll figure out a way to bring the sport truck out that day and put it on display.
That'd be cool.
So tell us a little bit about what is the difference between the weekly Wisconsin International Raceway in Kaukauna, Wisconsin series, and then what you're calling the traveling series.
Yeah, so the Thursday night's part of WIR's Thursday Night Thunder series. That's just WIR alone. So you get separate points for that. And that's a 15-week series. And the the touring series, that is completely different, just the Wisconsin sports trucks alone, where we'll travel to, I think, 6 different tracks this year. We'll kick off where Kyle will be running the truck at WIR, and those points will be part of the touring series. Then I think like a week or two later, we'll be at Golden Sands, and then we'll go to the Toma. We'll be making our debut at Toma Sparta Speedway this year, which is cool. Getting the trucks to a new track. Then we'll go to Slinger. I think we're at the Dells 2 times. And then Norway. And then rounding out the year at Golden Sands again. So like I said, points that you're receiving the Thursday nights at WIR is completely separate from the points that you'll receive in the touring series.
And that's really cool. I mean, that's really cool that you got two places. First, I mean, as a young driver, this is a great series. If you're in Wisconsin, you're definitely going to want to check them out if you haven't before, because it's a great professional way, but yet cost effective to a point. Racing's expensive, doesn't matter what you're doing. Of all the different types of racing, it's somewhat affordable for a family to run these trucks. And you're in front of big crowds. And as Cadyn has laid out, you get to race at like professional racetracks throughout the state. And just that, what I've always liked with it is that you're learning race etiquette. You're learning how to handle and how to react at a racetrack, right? A lot of go-kart tracks, nothing against them, but they're a purpose-built venue area, and just the people that are involved with the families go-karting are kind of there. You guys are on the stage in front of fans, and that's a whole different thing. When you're racing, things can happen. Adrenaline is pumping. But what's different when you're at a full-size racetrack is people are watching, and you don't know who those people are, right? They might say, wow, that kid is amazing. I want to go talk to him. Maybe I want to get involved in his team. Maybe I can help him out financially. But if you're that same kid and then all of a sudden you're getting out of the car and you're fighting, or you purposely crash people, they go, oh, I don't want anything to do with that person. So fortunately, both you and your brother have just been outstanding representatives of racing, not just of your sponsors, not just of, yourselves, but for motorsports, because you are very kind. You're very humble. You race clean. I see you all the time on social media, which we're going to talk about your social media here in a second. But, you're always complimenting other racers. And when somebody's won a race, you're like, hey, that was a great job. You deserved it. You're very active in the racing community, and shows like Racing Roundup, they look forward to having you guys on there. You're great speakers, and you just represent the sport. So that's a very, very important part of when you're coming up through the ranks. Sure, it's important to win. We all want to win. People that are involved with the race team want you to win. But nowadays, you got to have the other side. You got to have the marketing. You got to know the promotion. And unless you're going to pay somebody to do it, you have to learn and you have to apply it yourself. And that's where I'm going to give you the mic, because you guys are lights out when it comes with social media. So maybe share a little bit about like everything you have going. Like I think you post multiple times a day.
Oh yeah, we always try to post as much as we can, be as active as we can. Anytime, it's race day or whatnot, or what's going on in the shop, we always like to post what's going on. Any updates at the track that we have, like, maybe one of us did really well in a heat race or in qualifying, or maybe things didn't go so hot. We'll always keep everyone updated, keep everyone that isn't at the track. We want to make sure they know what's going on. And that's the thing. That's one thing that my brother and I are. We're all about the fans. We love any chance we get to, do a meet and greet or anything, or do the I know the nights they have where they let us bring the trucks down and interact with the fans and everyone that's there watching. All that stuff I enjoy doing. Everything with the fans, that's probably my favorite part about racing, is when you're seeing people in the stands and they recognize you as a driver, even when you're not in uniform. I've had that a couple times where I've been, after a feature, I go walk up in the stands and people congratulate me on how well I ran and just stuff like that. It's kind of cool. There's people that are out there watching you and you don't really even realize it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you both are definitely building a fan base. And that's another thing we're super excited about. And this is where things all tie in together again with RC World. Our presenting sponsor is Carpies, and they're going to do your merch. They're actually going to launch a merch store. We're going to have shirts and hats and hoodies and all that. And that should they're getting started on that, and that should be coming out here in the next couple of weeks. And that's going to be super exciting. You got a whole merch line, and we're really going to see how many Liedke fans are out in the stands. And I think there's going to be a lot of merch that's going to be
Yeah.
out there. I think there's a lot of people, obviously family members and friends, but people who come out to WIR. You guys have been out there enough years now. You're established, and I think there's a lot of people that are going to be like, yeah, we need some Cadyn and also some Mason, merch, and they're going to show up and they're going to show out. And I think you're going to be surprised at how many people are wearing your stuff.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm excited to see is, because the first year we did a merch drop, it was more, I guess you'd say, limited. It's going to be out there, out in public. I mean, anyone can go on the website and buy, and it's truly going to be cool to see people representing me at the track and whatnot.
Yeah, well, what you're going to find out too is not just the high level quality of the Carpies merch that they're going to have out there, but they handle the whole thing. And you're going to see it because, like you said, you used to handle it. You had to figure out the design, and then you had to pay for some inventory up front, and then you had to take the orders, and then you had taken the money, and then you got to figure out the taxes, and then you got to report it at the end of the year, and then you've got to pack it all up, and then you got to take it to the post office or wherever you take it and ship it, and then people want a change. Oh, I got an extra large. I really needed a 2X, and all that goes on. It takes away from your focus on the race team. And really, in the end, when you do it that way, because everybody does it themselves to go, well, I want to make the money. I want the money. It doesn't turn out that way, especially because you got to buy a certain, amount level of merchandise. And, it's in the end, it just doesn't work out. Where with the Carpies deal, they just handle it all. And you just get to walk around going, wow, they got my shirt. Oh, he's wearing my hoodie. Oh, there's my hat. And just see the excitement of your fans. And then it's doing what it's supposed to do, right? That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to help build your brand. And Carpies just does an amazing job. You're going to be so pleased. Your whole family will be pleased with the quality. Because I know some of the things you tried in the past. Obviously, you're trying to keep expenses down. And then you got them and you're like, I don't like this shirt. I don't know that anybody else is going to like this shirt, right? Just the quality, the fit, the feel. You're not going to have any of that with Carpies. It's going to be knocked out of the park. Trust me. They're already super excited to do it, and anybody can go out on the Carpies site and they can see all kinds of other racers in all types of racing, whether it be RC, whether it be go-karts, whether it be full-size race cars. They cover it all, and they've got merch stores for all that. And yeah, they got a merch store for the RC Underground. So what do you think of that? Is that kind of cool?
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to see the design. Obviously, I know it's going to look really cool, and it's definitely cool that I'm not really going to know how many people buy it. I'm just all going to be able to tell about how many people I see at the track wearing the shirt, I find that pretty cool.
Yeah. So here's what we're going to do. We did this when we launched the RCU radio merch line. I'm going to be at a lot of races. I hope to be there. And I'm going to carry $50 cash with me. And if I find somebody, not a direct family members excluded, we just find somebody walking around in Cadyn Liedke RC Underground truck merch, you win yourself $50 if you're the first one that I see. So I think that'll be kind of fun. We had a lot of fun with that. We used to call it RCU in the wild. So when we would see somebody in the wild, and I'll tell you, I saw people in some wild places. PRI show in Indiana. Somebody had some RCU merch on that I did not know. Different racetracks I've been at, I did not know the racers. Somebody at a gas station one day, I actually had to PayPal them the money because I didn't think I was going to bump into anybody that day. But that was so fun for me, and I just felt it was the right thing to do because it's very humbling when you see somebody out in the wild and they're wearing your brand. I can't wait for you to experience that because you're going to experience it someday, somewhere in the wildest place. And I know you're going to be taking a picture with that person and sending it to me and going, yep, Dave, you were right. I met this person here and they're wearing my merch. It's the coolest thing. It's the coolest thing. And I know you're going to experience it and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea, honestly. I didn't really think of anything like that until you said it. That is really a cool idea. Just the fact I feel like it's a thank you as supporting me, supporting Carpies for obviously buying the merchandise and supporting the hard work they did to make it all come together.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, it's going to be no joke. Like, they don't just throw it together. Like, they put, just like they do their wraps. You know, a lot of people buy a RC wrap or a full-size race car wrap from them. And I've done it myself where I'm like, you know what? I can't come up with anything as good as you guys would. So people will just say, hey, my number's this. These are my colors. I'd love to see what you come up with. And the team at Carpies, there's sometimes I just shake my head and I'm like, how do they know me? I have not met them in person. I've done some interviews and stuff with Derek and Audra and that, but you know, all the guys that make up the whole design team, like, they've never met me. We didn't have a detailed conversation, but that car is awesome and I can't wait to race it. And the quality of the vinyl they use the breathable vinyl. It just goes on a RC car or a regular race car like butter. Some really nice stuff, but the creativity of the design team is, I put them up against anybody. And I've been around this kind of stuff and trying to make race cars look cool for 20 plus years, and I've never seen anybody with the ideas and the thought and just the professionalism, but yet cool, edgy vibe, for lack of a better term, that Carpies produces. So yeah, you're gonna enjoy it, and they're gonna be sending us something probably in about 10 working days, and you get to approve it. You take your time, you look it over, and if there's any adjustments you want to make, they're going to make it. Yeah, they will not post it or send it out of their shop until you're 100% happy, and that they're 100% happy with the level. And I know they're super excited about this because, again, it's a full size, more of a full size type racing vehicle. So that's fun for them. That's fun for them to do some merch around that. So yeah, man, the legacy and the story of Liedke Racing just continues to grow. I know a lot of people on this channel are going to be rooting for you. And we want to have you on the show from time to time. Give us some updates, some race updates. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that sounds like a fantastic idea. I'm all in for it.
Cool. Yep, and we'll keep up with what you're doing with RC cars. Like I said, we're going to drag you out to Attitude over the summer. Let you get a little dirt experience there.
Oh yeah.
So we all know it takes a lot of people to get you on track. So why don't you give us a list of some of your partners on the truck?
I know, just briefly before I get to everyone else, I kind of want to highlight this. Finding sponsorships was the most difficult it's ever been so far, and it was getting to mid to late March, and I still didn't have my primary yet. That's when I was like, we're gonna shoot Dave a message, because I know you've always had my back for racing, no matter what it is, and I know that you would do anything you can to help me. So that's much appreciated. Obviously, RC Underground Radio and Carpies as well. I gotta thank them. I gotta thank my brother, ML Designs. He's been jumping on a couple other people's cars this year. He decided to jump on mine as well. Go check him out for your hero card needs and whatnot. I think he does a pretty good job. Then we also got to thank Franny's Break Room in Fond du Lac. Aero Auto, they're joining back once again this year. So thanks to Tim Dorn. Trammell Overhead Doors, Ken Sports, Integrity Saw and Tool, M&O Concrete Services, who's been with me since my rookie year, so that's pretty cool. Talia for Construction, Mr. Detail, he's been with me since my rookie year as well. Ramjets, More Dynamic Solutions, CarMax Photos, which he's actually, to my knowledge, my one and only international fan, Max Van Thiel, who's all the way from the Netherlands, which I find really cool. And then Remedy Plumbing, and then Zap Designs, who was the one who came up with the whole idea with the truck. So he was the one who took the ideas that Dave and I gave him and was able to bring it to life. So thanks to Zach for designing the truck this year.
Okay, boy. At the end of the night, like, if all your partners showed up, like, you would have blisters on your hands just from shaking hands with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
You got a lot of people on that truck.
For sure.
So I'm sure you agree that running this truck is great experience. I talked a little bit about it earlier, but let's hear it from your side. Like, what's some of the values that you think you're getting from being at this level of motorsports?
Yeah, obviously, I'm not in a full scale car yet, like a Midwest truck or late model. I hope to be someday. But even just in the sports trucks, getting my feet wet in the, short track area, it's really put me in a couple of cool positions. Obviously, being able to race at the world's fastest quarter mile, that has been, I feel like, really cool because I grew up going to races there, going to the Slinger Nationals, and then being able to race on the same track that some guys like Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Mark Martin, Dick Trickle, all those guys. I feel like that's really cool to experience. And then some of the eyes that have been on me while racing, having Johnny Sauter with his kid at the track at back when he was in the Bandoleros. And then another cool one, a guy that I really look up to, Ty Majeski. He was in the Chase Motorsports number 47 a couple times last year. And I'm sure he was watching his the Vanderloops, who are actually is married to their cousin, which is cool. I find that very cool. So I'm sure he was watching the trucks. And the thing about Ty being at the track is a couple of Tuesday nights when we would go practice, he would actually end up being there too. I remember the night after the Dixieland 250 at WIR. He was actually there testing with his 91 car, and it was cool being able to sit there and talk to him and being able to kind of chat about the same things. And obviously, like I said, Ty is someone that I really look up to, and it's cool that now he's a NASCAR champion. And then it's going to be really cool being able to race in front of Mark Martin, NASCAR legend. He'll be out at WIR June 19th, which is also the Rob Vandermoss Memorial Race. That's one I'm incredibly excited for. That's one I'd really love to go win. I know that's going to be a hard one just because there's going to be so many people that are going to be showing up. But yeah, just some of those small details, some of the tracks I've gotten to run at, some of the NASCAR stars I've been privileged to meet, with my time in the trucks. And I can't wait to, really expand on some of that stuff.
For sure. Now, there's a correlation between the number on that truck and somebody who races. Some driver, I think some people have heard of. Like, what's the reason you race that number?
Yeah, obviously, I got a lot of people who recognize it. My rookie year, just it was based off of my favorite NASCAR driver. I know a lot of people might not like me for this, but my favorite NASCAR driver is Joey Logano. I've always looked up to him as a driver. I know he hasn't always been the cleanest throughout his whole career, but he's gotten better, I'd say. But no, the same number font, I really thought that, Penske 2 was always really clean looking, and I decided to carry that onto my truck. Yeah, just it's the same number I started with in the cart, so I was lucky enough that no one had it once I got into the trucks and I was able to carry the 22 with me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you've also had the opportunity to talk with him a couple of
Yeah,
times, haven't you?
that puts a story back in my mind. It was Talladega 2023. I was waiting outside his hauler for him to come out. It was right before qualifying for the Cup Series, and all of a sudden he didn't walk out of the back where they usually walk out. It was actually the side door. And I said, "Hey Joey, can you come sign my diecast car for me?" Well, he ended up having me walk up next to the hauler with him. I sat there and chatted for him a little bit, and I actually showed him my sport truck for that year, which was based off of the Auto Trader car, and he thought that was, really cool. He said we did a really good job on making it accurate and whatnot. So I find that really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Hey, love him or hate him, he's a very talented driver. He's a multi-time champion. Can't take it away from him. I listen to him on Sirius Radio when he's on the NASCAR station there, and he loves the sport. So, and he knows his role, and
Yeah.
he plays it well. But he's a good family man, hyper devoted to racing. So, what people think is exactly what he wants, right? It's exactly what NASCAR wants. He plays a role, but off the track, he's obviously a good man, gives a ton of money away to charities. And yeah, love him or hate him, he's actually a really good dude. So,
And that's the thing I like about him too, is I'm proud to say that my favorite NASCAR driver is someone that, isn't all about the fans. I've had plenty of drivers, watch them push people off when they ask just for a picture or autograph. And I know they deal with that a lot, but especially with the younger fans, that kind of annoys me when I see that. Logano, it doesn't matter how young or old they are, he'll always make time for his fans the best he can. I find that really cool. Every chance I've seen him taking his time to come over by me, chat for me a little bit, sign what I need him to sign, and I just find that really cool.
Yeah, for sure. You said it eloquently. That's an inside look into Joey Logano, and no, you said it very well. So,
is your ride as exciting as a soggy sandwich?
Does your wardrobe scream,
I'm not trying?
Turn heads with Carpies, the place for custom wraps, apparel, and all things awesome. Want to look cooler than your neighbor? Want a wrap that makes your car the talk of the town? Want apparel that screams,
I'm not basic?
Carpies has you covered. Carpies, custom wraps, apparel, and more.
Because who wants to be boring?
Visit Carpies. Wrap your world. Wear your swag. Visit carpies.com today. Introducing Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, the ultimate solution to boost your grip and speed on dirt, carpet, or pavement. Papa Willie's gives you the traction you need to leave the competition in the dust. Just apply and watch your car stick to the ground like never before. No more spinning out, just pure relentless traction. Get Papa Willie's Traction Tonic and put the pedal to the metal. Available online. Visit papawillies.com today. Papa Willie's, where traction meets action.
Cadyn, thank you so much for coming on tonight. We're excited that we're going to see you here on RC Underground Radio throughout the year, because we'll be covering your races. You can come on and kind of give a race report. But then we're going to follow you around once the season's done and you start doing some RC racing. We want our RC fan base to see that you're part of our community and that you're out there kind of learning the hobby from the ground up.
Well, yeah, thank you for having me. I enjoy doing this stuff. I enjoy doing anything I can with media or being on shows like this. I love it. Yep,
for sure. And you do a great job, buddy. And to everybody out there listening, thanks again. This is a whole different side of motorsports, right? But it ties in because Cadyn's an RC racer with the rest of us. And we're just going to have a fun ride following the RC Underground Radio Wisconsin Sport Truck with our driver, Cadyn Liedke. So excited. It's going to be a great time. Thanks for joining us, everybody, and we'll see you again next week.
Thank you for listening to the RC Underground Radio Podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and tell your fellow racers about the show. Tune in again next week for more RC content.